chewing obnoxiously loud?
No, I just didn't know we were doing mukbang.
No, I got Veggie World.
Mukbang.
No, but you do have the
Never.
icebreaker, so you don't have long to chew. I'm gonna run the intro.
Well, it's fine, I can take a break.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Cowan, and welcome to The Living Joke. It is episode 12. I'm going to get the guys in here in a minute, but we're going to do some housekeeping real quick. One, I want to mention that you should follow us on Instagram and Substack. At TLJ_joke on Instagram. Will post the most insane content you will ever see from Will's own personal version of the internet that the rest of us do not use. So if you want crazy content, definitely be us to us on Instagram. Also, great show clips. Those I produce, so I say they're great. And then also visit us on Substack, thelivingjoke.substack.com. Not only is it a great way to find all the links for the show, including streaming channels for the guys that stream way more often than I do, and Instagram and the podcast and all that type of thing, but there's also lots of fun art and video. Last night I finally imported all the footage I have of a pretty epic round I had in Fortnite with a bunch of eliminations, and it is in editing as we speak. So there's other fun stuff from Connor and Will, and there's art and all this type of thing, so make sure to follow us. There. I also want to do our network tag because we are part of the Soupcast Podcast Network, and we're very excited about that. And we're still, looking out for some great great guests. I recently got some marketing material about this show, and they suggested that we should really try to see if we could get Jacksepticeye to come on the show. I said no thank you, but we are trying to get some interesting guests and all that sort of thing. So you can't see this in the background because it's on the screen, but Connor just shook his head vigorously. So we are going to get some really great guests. We're working on researching that. And before we dive into the show, I want to run the trailer for Fantastic Worlds, our fantasy and sci-fi anthology that's being published through Something Other Publishing, which is the book division of our podcast network. And so we're going to run that real quick, and when we come back, I'll have the guys here, and we'll get on with the show. Hi.
Yo.
Welcome, guys. This week, Connor's going to start us off because he came up with the icebreaker. So,
yes.
take it away.
I thought, well, soon we have the riftbound League of Legends card game dropping. Pre-orders are available now. It'll be available to the public, I believe on Halloween they're dropping it to the public. I was initially gonna get a box, but now that I've done some research and realized that the value is probably not gonna appreciate by a ton, I'll just get some packs. I'm personally pretty excited though, as a card collector. And as much as I hate to admit it, a very long time player of League of Legends. I'm excited to get a couple packs and see what I crack for my collection. What do you guys think about this game?
I had no idea that they were doing this till you put it in the document last night. So I went and had to go find out what the hell you were talking about. So I found the website, and I was looking through things, and that's why I put it on the screen, because people may not know. So here's a friendly visual. We have a deck, a booster box, and a booster pack. So, and I feel like they may have de-emphasized Ares' tits, but whatever. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, they definitely did some things to Ari there. I believe the box on the end also, though, is what's going to be a champion deck. So these are pre-built decks that are going to be themed around champions from the game, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty... I like all the theme packs that they do. They definitely made Ari a little less blessed for this this release, but that's fine. You know, that's just the cover packaging. It's what's on the inside that counts. It's what's behind that cosmetic. And I'm not paying $100 for the Ari skin. I'm sorry. On League of Legends, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
No, this will be fun. It's just more ways to use Teemo to screw somebody over.
Yeah. Do we know, like, how, like, is this something just to collect, or is there something to actually play?
Yeah, it's gonna be a game.
Oh, okay.
They've already released some rules and things like that, and some teasers for some of the cards that are coming out. I think we've seen some Misfortune, some Volibear.
The Volibear art
and then
is very, very cool.
Yes, it is. Yeah, maybe they have
got,
some
like,
here.
It's like well, yeah, if you can find it, that'd be cool. It's a close up kind of full art of Volley's face with like lightning and ice and stuff, you know, themed around him. It's cool, very cool.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, the Master Yi card looks cool. While you have
Annie being a little pyro.
Yep, as one does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, if that's how the card actually looks, that's really cool. The way the effect goes off over the frame of the card.
That's how it'll look.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that Master Ruby one is pretty cool, Cam.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an odd thing to be kind of like, you have a very popular video game and now you decide to make cards. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, they'll cash in on anything now. They love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really only a small independent studio, you know.
Right, yes.
They really need to corner the market on everything.
They're
so small. They gotta cover the gambit, you know.
Who's even heard of Riot? Not me.
No.
Tencent? Never heard of them.
They barely exist as a company. Although I did read last night in the South China Morning News that Tencent is doing a $100 billion debt issuance, unrelated. Yeah. No, this looks interesting. Yeah. I don't know how soon I'm gonna like jump into buying anything, but it seems interesting. I might wait to see you get yours, and then decide if I'm gonna succumb to peer pressure.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna buy from a collector's perspective. I doubt that I'll really. We already have enough games, and especially ones that take a fair amount of thought. I'm not adding another card game to that list.
Yeah. Well, it looks really interesting. Yeah, no, it looks really interesting, and I'm so glad you brought it up, because I had no idea. You follow these things more than I do. Oh, that's pretty.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for bringing it up, because I had no idea until you put it in the document last night when I started reading about it. So this is really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it with everyone.
Yeah. Awesome.
It'd be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. Well, let me put us back in the. There we go. Yeah. So no, excellent, wonderful. Well, League of Legends, it's yeah. However, it's kind of funny when we talk about small companies and big companies, all this sort of thing, because our first segment is something we kind of started talking about last week, and we kind of started having a little kind of a personal conversation about it, and we started talking about it on the show. And the question, if we were in debate club, be it resolved, the internet should be a public utility.
Yes. In a way. In a way it should be, I believe.
Yeah. Connor, you first.
No, you two will lead this conversation.
Alright. Well, in that case, I'll go first, because I've had some... We've all had some feelings due to recent events. I'm not gonna harp on it, because that's not what the show's about. But due to some recent issue, people are scared. Public's scared. Seeing a lot of stuff that's going on in the news, be it whatever side of the aisle you're on, or just if you take politics out completely, the fact that there are people out there organizing on social media to do crazy things and plan things, and there's no these corporations like Facebook, X, Reddit. They're not censoring these people. Like, people are reporting all the time. They're not getting done, whether this is an ideological thing or if it's just AI just not doing its job, because they're implementing a lot of that now. I don't know, but there's doesn't seem to be a whole lot of oversight or regulation for them. And I understand, it's what did you call that? The AI and or not the AI, the social media algorithms are proprietary, correct?
They are.
Yeah. So there's for several companies, a handful of companies, to basically control what happens they basically control the whole narrative, whether the algorithm decides to promote it or not. They have control over that. Like a business teacher I used to have told me, he's like, the internet in the dictionary, the newest version, now has the internet capitalized, and he said it's the only other word besides like the capital and holidays and whatever the specific thing was, that and God, those are that have capitalized first letters. So the internet is now equivalent to like God, and it's integrated into our life completely. We can't live without the internet. Most of us can't live without the internet, because you have to do everything through it. You have to, your job, your banking, all your business, the website, everything is tied to your little computer in your pocket. And it seems like there should probably be some, like, it's not just like a fun little thing that we all like use to hobby on and create fun little websites. It's grown into a big old monster.
Yeah, and that I'll admit I'm not. I'm not. There's kind of two parts to this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
There is the physical structure that makes the internet possible. The lines, the wires, the server, even just for your ISP, your internet service provider, for those who don't know. Just for ISP, that's trillions of dollars of infrastructure, mostly paid for by taxpayers, by the way, that exists. I think trying to nationalize that, considering we paid for it, is maybe not such a terrible idea. Especially, given, I agree with you, everyone has to have access to it, And we have this conversation with, well, why do poor people have cell phones? Because their scheduling software for their job is on a website. You know, that's very common now. When I was working in retail and food, it was not that way. Schedules were still kept on paper, but that was also 20 yeyears ago. Nowadays, especially if you're at a big company, it's all on the internet. SaaS companies have come along, they've automated all this type of thing, and it's all online now. That was even actually kind of true for Target. All of our pay stub stuff was all on the internet, and that was in 2006. That's how long ago that was. So, it's been true for a long time. The other, so there's kind of that aspect to it. Then there's the things that operate on the internet. Social media companies obviously being the biggest, the most popular, the most visible sort of thing. I don't necessarily know it's maybe the best thing to nationalize or try to nationalize social media as such. I think even when you try to talk about, algorithms, and as we joke, I say 4 people basically control public opinion and have more power than Horace Greeley and William Hearst combined. Those both were big newspaper magnates at one time in this country. And so, and that's a frightening prospect. And we passed regulations in the 1930s to kind of prevent a William Hearst from ever rising up again. And then Reagan got rid of those regulations in the 80s and all this sort of thing. And the modern consolidated media environment came along. But this whole conversation is very difficult. We never nationalized the telephone company. And at one time there was only one, and that was AT&T. Instead, we broke them up into the baby bells. And they've now all merged and combined back in together to about 3 companies. So not quite as powerful as Ma Bell was. But there's still been lots of consolidation, all this sort of thing. Your internet provider is one of 3 to 4 companies. Starlink has been the biggest innovation in that for most people in years. Most of the country is stuck with the local cable provider, the local DSL provider, and not much else, which is some combination of, Frontier or Comcast or, CenturyLink, whatever is in your region. Some places have Verizon, some places have SBC Global, but you usually don't have more than about 1, maybe 2 choices, 3 if you live in a big city, and you're lucky. Seattle only had 3. And so, which one can talk about, pricing and monopoly and all this type of thing. Nationalize the infrastructure? Yeah, I could see that. I don't think it'll happen. Not under this administration anyway. But I think that's a good idea. I think trying to nationalize social media companies because they control public opinion is difficult, hard to do, and I would hesitate to have a governmental entity under any party, any power structure, trying to control such things. I think a different regulatory framework that algorithms have to abide by could be good. Getting Chuck Grassley and the dinosaurs we have in our government to talk about that and pass that intelligently, boy, that's going to be a big lift. I think there's a path forward to. I think the open sort of free for all, do what you want sort of thing has created a net harm to society, and that's not even just politics. I'm talking about girls harming themselves because they saw something on Instagram, which is a thing.
Yeah.
You
remember the phenomenon of cutters for Bieber?
Yes.
And teenage girls were cutting their wrists and tweeting them at Justin to prove their love for him.
Yeah. I mean, and especially, as someone who, was involved in helping raise my cousins at one point, all 3 girls, I know what social media can have on that sort of psyche. And let's also face facts. Social media is no fun place to be a guy either, and there's lots of not great influences. We know people in our lives who, dear God, unplug them. They need to go outside, sort of thing. I think especially for young people, it's a very difficult thing. I think it's hard to regulate. I think it's hard for government to do anything about that. And let's be honest, tech has taken advantage of that. They've taken advantage of the fact no one knows what they do. And so government has never regulated them because no one in government knows how to regulate them. And so we don't. And I agree with you directionally. It's time to start having a conversation about what are the real standards we want to have. Kara Swisher from Pivot Podcast, who's a very well-known tech journalist, probably knows the most about this sort of thing. And her and Scott Galloway this week were advocating for simply holding companies accountable for what appears on their platform.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who it's coming from, who said it, or why. The accountability structure should be the same. That's probably a good place to start, and you can even start with the low-hanging, fruit sort of thing. I think leaving it in the hands of tech companies to decide on their own, you're going to end up with multiple different outcomes based upon the personal biases of the people involved. And that's the regime we have been living under this long time. So I think, there is definitely a conversation to be had about the effect of social media, and the infrastructure probably should be nationalized. Mostly because we paid for it to start with. It was basically a free handout to companies. So I say we take it back.
Yeah, I think so. That would be a good idea. It'd be nice.
Absolutely. Okay, Connor, we've said important things. Your turn now.
It's hard to follow any of that up. No. Maybe a little redundant, because I think I might have said some of these things when we had our talks about AI in the past, but that's okay. And I don't have the answers. I'm not exactly sure where I'd like to see this go, but for a start, we could have the websites that do exist currently doing at least a better job of what they say they're gonna do with what content's allowed. I personally find it very frustrating, for example, that as a relatively stable 32-year-old man, if I prompt ChatGPT to make me an image, the other day I wanted it to make a cartoon of something related to the League of Legends game, actually, just for my own personal entertainment. And to be told that, oh, I can't create that because it's depictions of violence. But then when I'm trying to enjoy my day and scroll through YouTube shorts, and they're supposed to have an algorithm that doesn't allow these things, I'll randomly stumble upon a video of live fucking crimes where people are potentially, like, even getting injured and seeing things that, I mean, I'm not weak-minded, but I don't want to see people getting violently injured or anything like that. I don't think the majority of people do. Or hear some terrible story about what happened to somebody. They're not even following their own rules with how they say they'll monitor these things, and if they could crack down on that more, I think it would be a step in the right direction.
There has been some news in the holding companies accountable department in the wake of Charlie Kirk. And I mentioned it last night. I was going to save it for later, but you know what? This is actually a good point because we're going to move on from this. Hassan Piker may actually be toast. He may actually be cooked completely. Hassan Epstein, Diddy Clinton Piker, Osama bin Laden Piker. He is a silly goose, and I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna do a little tiny bit of housekeeping, in a way. And there's a gentleman, a Twitch streamer. His name is Tectone. I don't particularly give a singular shit about Tectone, personally. I find you incredibly generic. I don't think your content is special. I don't think anybody should think I'm special over you. That's just my opinion. You're not my favorite content creator. And you've been treated unfairly. And if I've said anything poorly about you, if you ever see this, I apologize. But there's one very, 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 very incredibly important thing that you did that you probably don't even realize. Well, you realize it now, but you probably didn't realize it at the time. Tectone's on a break because he's been getting bullied off Twitch by the orbiters, and he made a entire video. It's like a few minutes long of all the incitement of violence things that Hassan has said. Like, oh yeah, stab these motherfuckers, stab them. They should be burned in the street. Blah 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 blah. And so now, in the wake of everything, Elon Musk, the man who has the president's ear, whether they're on good terms or not, he does have the president's ear. He is deeply ingrained in the government. He sent out a little tweet. Elon Musk tweeted at Big Daddy Bezos, who owns Twitch, and said, "Hey, what's up with the situation over here?" So if they decide to fucking make a big enough stink about it, dude, Hassan is gonna get canned hardcore, because Bezos is not gonna want that on his platform. Oh, the dude that inspired the fucking political assassin is on my platform promoting this every day, and I've been ignoring it. That's a great look, Jeff.
Yeah, it doesn't
You
look
might
good.
actually be fucked.
No, and this is this is the difficulty of the times that we, the times that we live in. It's yeah. I don't know. I find I sometimes, as someone who's a very old school type of journalist, I find a lot of what goes on to be very frustrating, and a lot of stuff that I would just never say or never do, and sometimes some people are frustrated with how much I couch what I say, how careful I am, and trying to honor people's opinions and perspectives, and trying to keep things grounded in reality as much as possible, sort of thing. Some people find that frustrating. I have long joked I would be more popular if I played the outrage game a lot more than I don't. And I do find it frustrating that people like Hassan, who I, think does a very bad job of what he does, are far more popular than those of us who are actually doing real work out here, sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, I think it is definitely a reckoning for all parties involved. I think probably one of the great mistakes we have made as a society since about 2010 is digital spaces have become far more important than physical ones. And the pandemic was kind of the frosting and the cherry on top of that cake. And I feel like that is as probably a net negative, kind of all taken together. Not that I don't enjoy the internet or online digital spaces, and it helps me keep up with, family and friends all over the world, and it is part and parcel of why the Cameron Journal exists. It's why you're watching this right now. So I have mixed feelings, but I do think at some level that was a bit of a mistake. I think society was more functional when the internet was a place you went. It was its own thing. It was another location in the world. Now it has become the world. The conversation is happening in the digital space. You're hearing stuff that started online come out of the mouths of politicians. Not talking about parties. It's both sides. Politicians. All of them. Out of people, out of things. As someone who studies and talks about media narratives, it is frightening to watch media narratives make their way across the internet on different issues and things, some of whom I agree with, some I don't agree with, but I just kind of see how they move. I think it's probably time to have a really tough conversation about the internet and digital spaces. And we have been avoiding it for almost 40 years. And now it's reached a point where we can't ignore it anymore.
We just wait. That's how we do. We wait till it gets bad, and then it's a problem. Wait till it's a problem, then we fix it.
The Americans will do the right thing once all their possibilities have been exhausted. That old canard is very apt. Very, very apt. Okay. Let's shift gears. from serious to much more fun.
Woohoo!
Yes. This week, Connor decided to purchase the very large, very heavy, BloodBorne board game. And he just chose to make this purchase because, there is something about him as a man, as a badass person, that Sony products cannot handle. Any version of PlayStation in his hands seizes up faster than a motor with no oil. And so, in response to the PlayStation freezing up on BloodBorne once again in the middle of a boss fight, we have now gone old school. Back to plastic and paper. So, this week was our first time playing BloodBorne. I will admit, my enthusiasm for this little adventure was somewhere in the basement, but I went along for the ride because I'm a team player. So, but I think everyone had a lot of fun. I will let you guys start, and then I will add in my thoughts on the latest BloodBorne thing. So, BloodBorne board game. So.
Yeah, I didn't always have this PlayStation curse. I didn't really love any particular, I've been a gamer my whole life and played every system, and yet now every time I touch my friends, any kind of PlayStation, any Sony product, we had this problem streaming another game where it just decides to crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, what bothers me is that the reason why this curse, I think, has some weight to it is because it's not just the PS4. It is actually transferred generations, and it happened on my PS3, too.
Yeah. Playing Army 2 we were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, on an Army of 2.
Yeah.
Before we
And then an hour and a half in, it just was
just
no,
froze.
no more, not allowed anymore.
It's still warming up to you.
I don't know. So at some point I pissed off the PlayStation gods. So I've gotten us BloodBorne, the board game, which I suppose in a moment I can shout out the creators, but it is it really reminds me of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign for those out there that are familiar. For those who aren't, look it up. It's one of the most popular tabletop games in the world. I really enjoyed it, and something I find really fun about it is, I wouldn't say I'm not creative, but writing stories and such is not always what I'm best at or what I have the most interest in sitting down and doing. So running that role of what you'd call a dungeon master, where I can sort of help guide the other players with what's going on, along with being able to play right alongside them at the same time, I find very, very enjoyable. Oh yes, beautiful. This is what the base game looks like. There's 4 different expansions that I'm sure I'll pick up at some point. And yes, a very Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder type of game, but themed completely around the game BloodBorne, with some extra mechanics and such that represent it. I found my one criticism would be the pacing, but I think that's something that'll fade as we play more campaigns and chapters. But as Cam said, he wasn't very enthusiastic. I'd love to hear both your opinions. What did you guys like about the game?
I like it. It's very faithful, I feel like, and it definitely feels like I'm getting, everything's trying to bend me over and put it in my pooper from every angle. I feel like when I play regular BloodBorne on the PlayStation. So it's definitely lore accurate. The pacing, I'm okay with the pacing. I don't mind it, but I think, like you said, I think it will go a little bit faster once we get into it. Once we learn it a little better. That was our first time, so it'll get a little bit better. I don't mind the pacing, but my biggest criticism we've discussed is each enemy has like there's these action cards for the enemies, and there's only 6 of them, and so you have a 1 in 6 chance of pulling the worst thing you can pull. But like you have to shuffle every time or whatever, so you're always constantly running into it at the same interval, or increasing your chances due to bad luck. So I would we've been labbing on how we're going to work that out, but I think either putting more cards in that deck or kind of doing a range with dice throws, a range of numbers like on a d20 would be a good thing. Art was fantastic too. Was a big part of the video game, and it's definitely reflected in this too. They put in a lot of love and attention to detail.
Cam, what did you like?
Yeah, well, I thought the play style. I thought it would be very hard to learn. I fear board games that come in large boxes. So I was surprised at how easy it was to pick it up. And I, again, am not a gamer and am terrible at board games. This is all just such a disaster for me. But I was surprised. I actually learned it quite quickly. And I even was reasonably effective at one point and actually, like, accomplished a thing. Which for me is a major achievement, because usually I just die and it's kind of over. So that was quite nice. I did find it to be a bit slow, but I agree. I think it will speed up. I think one of the things structurally that makes it slow is after the player plays, the enemies play. So every turn is really 2 turns. So a full round of all 3 of us is not 3 turns. It's actually 6, counting enemies doing their movements. And they move a lot and quickly. And they will find you very quickly.
Yes, they will.
Yes. No, I'll admit, and here's kind of my own personal feeling. I found it to be a bit dry because I don't know the story, I don't know the lore. I gotta go, like, read or watch a video or something. So, for me, it doesn't seem like anything yet because I've never played the video game, of course. And I don't know the story and all this type of thing. So I gotta go get myself up to speed, probably before we play next, so that it will actually have the same feeling that you guys are feeling, because I'll actually know what all of this stuff means, because right now it's all very esoteric. But yeah, otherwise, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it would be a miserable slog that would give me a headache. And by the end, it was actually kind of fun, and I got to do some stuff, and I didn't feel like I was just a dunce cap, all this sort of thing. So a game that can make me feel good, who's usually the first player to die because I'm so bad at everything, gets the Cameron seal of approval. Like, oh, I was okay at this. So that was nice. I appreciated that.
Oh, we got a chatter. Hey, Stan, how are you?
Oh, I know Stan. Hi, Stan. Yeah, I know Stan Price. He's a follower of mine. So, yeah.
I also, I think, since we didn't technically, as you play through the game, there's 4, like, campaigns that they've built in. They all revolve around the lore of the original video game. And as you progress, you're supposed to reveal cards, and a lot of these deepen the story and share the lore. I don't think it helped that we didn't even reveal a single card throughout the night, and mostly just got beat up by monsters the entire time.
Yeah, it was just like,
yeah,
you pushed us into like a mosh pit.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm pretty sure I died on turn 1.
You did.
You did, yes.
Alright, gonna take 1 step, and then immediately mobbed and killed.
I had 3 mobs around me, all murder, just beating the crap out of my character, and I couldn't even do anything to respond.
Yeah, no, it's a very difficult. No, that was kind of funny. I mean, when you were reading the book and learning how to do the game so you could teach us, you'd mentioned that you see so many ways for us to die, and I was kind of like, oh, that sounds... And you weren't wrong. There was multiple deaths by all parties and sort of thing. So, like I said, I was just impressed that I felt like I picked it up, and I could actually play again and feel confident that I wouldn't just end up being a liability or bored or be a problem or all this type of thing. So for me, that was probably the most impressive thing, is I felt like I wasn't bad at it, and that is an achievement, because as we know, I am middling about this stuff at best. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it more than you thought, because I knew you sat down and did that with us to be a good friend, which is awesome.
We do for friends. We do for friends. So yeah. So it's good. So yeah. No. I like I said, I think the coolest thing was it actually is pretty easy to pick up. I was really, because I was quite frightened. So that was really cool. And Connor, I have to say, shout out to you, Connor. You spent all that time. It's all set up in the other room. It's a huge production, but he spent all the time figuring out the cards, reading the book. He's poured hours into this to make it easy for us. So big shout out to you for making it a good experience for the first time. Thank you.
Yes,
thanks. I'm glad I could.
Yeah. So, final thoughts and things before we move on to segment 3.
Beware the old blood. That's it.
Yes.
Seek the pale blood.
But real pale, not dyed. Who's been at a hair salon? It's like I gotta go down to the blood salon to get my blood bleached. Like, no. So.
Go down to the blood bank, get some blood.
What's that sweet smell?
It's blood.
Blood. Yes.
It's enough to make a man sick.
So this was a last minute drop in. So I don't know what segment 3 is about. Oh, it's a WNBA lawsuit. Okay. Will, did you put this in here? Do you want to start us off on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Former Liberty forward star in the WNBA, Sue Wicks, thanks Caitlin the best thing to happen to WNBA, and I would say that's factual. Caitlin Clark has been like a superstar like over here in the WNBA. A lot of people, I don't follow basketball all that closely. Caitlin Clark is in my radar because of memes and also recent happenings. I didn't really follow. I follow her now, but I don't really follow sports that much as far as basketball. I'm a rich white people sports guy because I don't know. That's just what I gravitated towards: golf, volleyball, tennis, all shit I can't afford. But anyway.
So please subscribe to our Substack.
Please subscribe. The faster you do, the faster our lives improve. Now,
right.
So yeah, the Caitlin Clark effect. She is. Honestly, she's got the presence. She's got the game. People are comparing her to they're calling her the female Steph Curry. She's stirring up the Steph Curry McFlurry, but it's the Caitlin Clark fucking cookie dough fucking surprise over there. She's fucking dunking it and fucking just putting hoes down. She puts hoes down. She steps over them. Get you a woman that can walk over other women with ease. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's very, 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 very great honor to be commented on, to receive such a compliment from the Sue Wicks, legendary Sue Wicks. And she's now been, Caitlin Clark, the point of this article is that she is going to be inducted into the Dowling Catholic Hall of Fame. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, that was in growing up in Denver on Sundays, they would have a segment where they would cover high school sports at some of the popular schools in town. So it was kind of a fun way. They called them the preps, and they would always kind of keep up on and they would do volleyball, basketball, all this type of thing. And this all kind of came to a head one time. This is kind of a funny side story. One of the first women to ever be on a practice team for an NFL team was a young lady. I forget her first name, but her last name was Oneida. And this was controversial because her father was well known in Denver because her father did the doctor medical segment on Channel 4 News. It was a little segment, your health with Dr. Dave Oneida sort of thing. And years later, his daughter actually got on the practice squad for the Denver Broncos. Like, went to the combine, went to the NFL, and there's, like, literally pictures of her at Dove Valley throwing the ball around with the guy. She was in college at CU Boulder, like, all this type of thing. And it was controversial when she was in college. It was controversial when she got on the Broncos practice squad, all this type of thing, because it was just unusual. But she was incredibly good. So, I mean, honestly, I think to some degree, some of this is a long time coming. We've kind of waited for the WNBA. That was a side story. We'll get back on the interstate now. Because this whole thing I hadn't thought about her in years and years. We're kind of the same age. I think she might be a little older than I am. So this was obviously years and years ago. But getting back on the highway, I think we've been waiting for the WNBA to produce itself a real star, something to draw attention, all this type of thing. I think it kind of makes the WNBA starting to get a little bit viable. And I think it might, encourage some young women to go to school to get that scholarship, develop, to start that process, to be like, yeah, you can do it. How many, Larry Bird inspired a generation of male basketball players. Michael Jordan inspired a generation of male basketball. Steph Curry's doing it now, and Kobe Bryant before him, LeBron James before that, all this sort of thing. The men have had this for a long time. I think, the Caitlin Clark effect is not just TV ratings. It's gonna be the quality of female basketball player produced 10 years from now. I think that, her legacy probably will be that she made the WNBA a thing for finally, sort of thing. And that...
She set the bar. She's setting the bar,
Yeah, and also, and being able to, be a star, draw that attention, get people to watch and tune in. I mean, that's a lot for one human being to do, to take on, to manage. I mean, top athletes have a whole support, even at the college level. There's a whole support system that allows them to do this. I can't imagine the people she has around her to manage and do all this. It's a lot, but it's probably the best thing to hit the WNBA in a long time. So I'm in favor of it. I think it's good. I think it's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, really, and I still think, unfortunately, most people probably feel this way. They'll say, "Oh, the WNBA," and they're like, "Who?" And but like, yeah, she's one of the best ways to get attention to yourself. Is controversy, right? So they started throwing a fit about the wages and whatnot, and they were wrong. Technically, they'd have to pay them. The NBA, they would be losing money.
Right.
But that garnered so much viewership, and it also brought awareness that the female basketball players really don't get paid all that much.
Mm-mm.
They have to do twice, 3 times the amount of work that a male basketball player does, I would say, because a lot of women WNBA players, like Brittany Griner, like they pick up, they do matches all over the world for money.
Yeah.
Pick up games or whatever.
It's not uncommon. There, when I remember when lacrosse came to Denver, most of initially it's not this way anymore. But for the first several years, most of the lacrosse guys had, like, other jobs. Like, they were IT dudes. One guy worked construction. Like, literally was like, yeah, I gotta get off this roof. I gotta go fly to play a lacrosse game this weekend. Like, so these shingles are going down fast. Like, sort of thing. Hockey, you don't get full-time till you get to the NHL. I mean, if you're IHL or below, you are either living on a very small salary, very poorly with like 6 other dudes in an apartment, or you have a side gig. You have a little side gig sort of thing. So Yeah, and for a lot of, women, yeah, you got to put together a full-time income, you got to go play basketball in China, in Turkey, in Azerbaijan, sort of thing. You can't find these places on a map. And so, yeah, it's a quite difficult thing. And I think that will start to change now. I think they're transcending being a joke and actually building an audience that's invested in the people, the personalities, the teams, all that type of thing. That's a league. It's great.
Yeah.
This is a lot of sports talk for a gaming show. Congratulations, Will.
Yeah,
We're very we're all getting all broy about it. It's good.
We're doing that morning zoo thing, and I'm like, we gotta add some chunky sports stuff, some real macho stuff for the bros. I would like to do a very bro early 2000s edgelord type of episode. So yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin fucking crushed 10,000 beer cans with his fingers or something. I don't know. We'll do something. It's time to enter the rage cage next week. I'm gonna try to get some good.
I mean, honestly, we could start doing a little. I do follow football, and we are in football season. We could start doing a little football thing.
Yeah, throw in some stuff.
I could get back into some football anecdotes.
Yeah,
it's good timing. I haven't really been keeping up with boxing, and then I was talking to someone at our local gas station about one of Canelo's most recent fights. I forget who he fought. Let me look real quick. Canelo versus Canelo recent fights.
Oh, I think we're also
Terrence Crawford.
Oh, Terrence, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can catch up on that and add some stuff, and then we can all really bro out about the sports we like and such.
Yeah.
And what's that other thing? When October 22nd, we got to go to Midget Burlesque. The Micro Maidens. We're gonna go see Micro Maidens on Wednesday, October 2nd.
I'm kind of looking forward to that. I used to host a burlesque show at a gay bar in Denver called Broadway's. And it was and I also used to be an MC for a side show that did sword swallowing and fire breathing and all that fun shit. So yeah, it'll be fun and interesting. I haven't been to an event like that in 10 years. So it'll be interesting. Very different culture out here. So I am looking forward to that, and it's always fun to watch little people do anything. It's so adorable.
There's one woman there who's apparently only 2 feet 10 inches tall.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. No, for the midget wrestling, we've threatened to send Connor into the ring so the little people can fight the normal sized man. But that's just, Connor.
Yeah, I could be like their giant.
Exactly.
But I'm just a short dude.
You gotta watch him. We might take the wrong one home by accident.
It's like we have to check him at the car, right? Like, and so get out the measuring stick. We have to make sure. That's it's like I don't know. I can just see her on the phone like I don't know what happened. These 2 large men just took me home. They think I'm their friend. Come pick me up. Like
I'm just sitting in the middle of the stadium, like, guys.
They took you in the back and had their way with you, like the Wizard of Oz cat, attacking the day lunch donuts. They brought in.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
One of us. And they pick you up and carry you into the back. Never see you again. Our king, he has arrived.
Right.
It was foretold in the ancient prophecy.
Right. Yes, we'll get you a little sash and a cape and a scepter and get you some nice hot girls to hold it. Yeah. That'd be hilarious, but so next week we'll include a segment on sport, and we will talk all matters of sports ranging from football to pugilism and whatever else we find. So,
Sword fighting.
Yes.
I got a game to show you guys, so I'm not going to spoil it now.
That's all right. So, well, that's our segments, and we're reaching the top of the hour. So I think it's time for final thoughts. Connor needs to finish a sandwich he's been chewing on the whole hour. So let's do final thoughts and things before we let them all go.
Yeah, that's my final thought. Thanks for hanging out and watching us and watching me munch on this delicious turkey sub the whole time.
Yeah. No.
Shout out Veggie World, Newington, Connecticut. Shout out Veggie World. We love you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for all your contributions to the war effort. My final thoughts: be nice and be nice to yourself, and have a good day.
Yeah, no, it's no, I'm looking forward to not being on the phone for the first time in 5 hours. So, thank you so much for watching The Living Joke. This is episode 12. Please find us online, TLJ_joke on Instagram, and thelivingjoke.substack.com. Make sure to subscribe if you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify. Make sure to subscribe, and please leave a review and share with your friends. We love you for doing so, and we love you for watching. We'll see you next week now. Bye-bye, everyone.